Hey coders, this is project number 6 for the Mission to Mars Challenge. We hope you have fun with this one. For this one, we've landed safely on the planet, and the first thing we want to do is send out a robot to collect some materials that we'll need for our base here on the planet. So we're going to have some crystals on the screen. We're going to have a robot that goes out and picks up the different crystals. Now this one's going to be a little bit different because on all of the other ones, we kind of have programs that check to see if something's happening. For this one, we're actually going to have the sprites kind of talk to each other. You'll see what I mean. But this one gives you a pretty powerful, cool little strategy for lots of different kinds of programs you can make. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is let's do a backdrop. We're going to paint this one now. I don't think Scratch has a really good Mars surface background, so we're going to make our own. So first thing I did is click on Backdrop Paint. Then I converted it to a bitmap because it's the easiest way to just fill one. Now the color for this one doesn't really matter, so just pick some shade of red that you like. And then let's add some details to it. So I'm going to change this color a little bit, maybe a darker red, and I'm going to paint in, here's a crater, and here's a little hill. Whatever you want to do to spice up the surface of your planet there. Crater, butte, maybe a big canyon over here. Our program is not going to do anything with the background, so you can just be as creative as you want, or however you want it to look. It's completely up to you. You can put a little happy little asteroid over here, and maybe give him a little friend. Not an asteroid. What am I talking about? A crater right there. Okay. That's good enough. And the next thing I want to add is maybe some gray here. And we're going to draw just real quick an oval here. Try to be in the center. Let's say that is the landing zone. So we want our robot to start from there and then come back there to drop off the crystals. Okay, so we have our backdrop done. I'm going to come out of there and pick back to code. And let's get rid of this cat. We don't need him. But we do need a couple more sprites here. So let's choose a sprite, and you can of course draw your own, but I'm going to type in the word robot. We're going to pick this one. You can animate this one if you want for the sake of time. I'm just going to leave it with this basic design here, and I'm going to set the size of the robot to be size 40. Okay, so what we want to do is add some code here. The first event is going to be when the green flag is clicked. Let's have our robot go to 0, 0. All right, so that'll start our robot off in the base camp every time we run the program. Let's add another sprite here called Crystal. And Crystal's nice because it actually has 2 different costumes, so pick that one. And let's say we want the Crystal sprite to be its size. Oh, we can leave size 100 for this one. The size on this one's not going to matter as much. Okay. So what we want to happen is when we hit the green flag, the robot's going to go pick up the crystal no matter where it is, because we don't know where the crystals are. The robot's going to have to go find them. So the robot has some sensors on there. It can find the crystals, but they're going to be in different spots every time. So in the crystal code, let's add an event. When the green flag is clicked, we want that to go to a random position. So every time you hit the green flag, the crystal will jump around. We're going to have the robot go pick it up every time. Okay? So the next thing we want to do is program the robot. So the robot needs to know to go pick up the crystal. And there's lots of different ways to do that. Here's what I want to do, though. I want to put a wait statement in here. Or no, let's do looks. Let's do looks. Let's say, gathering crystals for 1 second. And, that's not really that important, but I like that this robot is just going to sit there a second while the crystals are getting put on the screen. So we're going to wait a second, and then let's do under motion. We're going to glide 1 second to the crystal. Scratch knows where that is. And then let's have it glide 1 second back to, nope, get rid of that one. Glide 1 second back to 0, 0. Okay, so watch what happens when we hit the green flag. Gathering crystals, it'll go to the crystal, and it'll go back. Gathering crystals, go to the crystal, come back. And the further away the crystal is, the faster it goes, because it'll always take 1 second to do that. And that's okay. Well, I guess the faster it seems to go. All right, now you'll notice, well, we want the robot to pick up the crystal, though. So how do you program that? There's a ton of different ways to do it. I want to do it the easiest way possible, though. So what I think is the easiest way is under here that says control. You have this command here that says, oh, no, I didn't click on control. Under control, you have one here that says, no, there it is. It's under events. I was right to begin with. It's under events. This one called broadcast. Okay, so bring over broadcast and put that right after where it glides to the crystal. Now, we're going to use multiple broadcasts, so let's make sure we name these properly. We're going to call this one Crystal 1. So that means it's found the first crystal. Okay, so right now that doesn't do anything. It just says broadcast Crystal 1. But come over here to the crystal, and now drag this one over here that says when I receive. So when I receive Crystal 1, so this block of code I'm going to put here is not going to do anything until the robot comes to this spot and here it hears this message, Crystal 1. Okay, so come to looks. What we want to do is hide and then wait. So under control, let's wait 0.9 seconds and then go under looks again and show. So think for a second what that's going to do. So the robot's going to take a second, say I'm gathering crystals, it's going to go over here, it's going to say broadcast Crystal 1, and then it's going to travel back here. This crystal is going to be sitting here in its random position. When it hears Crystal 1, it'll disappear, it'll wait 0.9 seconds, and then it'll show itself. And I like the idea of 0.9 seconds because it'll be almost back to the starting place when it shows back up again. Okay, let's test that out. Gathering crystals, blink. Oh, so you see what we did there though? I didn't actually tell the crystal to move. So the robot does its thing. We want it to actually move here though. So let's do wait 9 seconds, motion, go to the robot, and then show itself. Okay, gathering crystals. There. All right. Gathering crystals. 0.9 seconds, show up again. So the crystal, the robot's always going to come back to the 0, but the crystal, right before the robot gets back to that, is going to reappear. Let's add something to the robot too. Under looks, let's do go to front layer on this one. I like it when the robot's on top of the crystals. See if you think that looks better. I think that looks better. Okay, let's run that again. Gathering crystals. Okay, our project is almost done, except that we want more crystals on there. So let's come down here, control-click duplicate, control-click duplicate, and let's duplicate this one. But on this one, come to costumes, let's change the costume, and then duplicate it again. So we have 3 blue ones, 2 purple ones. When we hit the green flag, it's only going to go to the first one, though, and then they all hide because they all have that exact same code. Let's change that a little bit. So come to the robot, come back to code, and what we need to do is go to each crystal and then broadcast a different message each time. So this block of code where it says glide 1 second to crystal, broadcast Crystal 1, glide 1 second back to the center. Let's duplicate that about 5 times. Just duplicate that. Duplicate that. Duplicate that. We need this block of code for every crystal. Okay, so let's reattach them. At the beginning, it's going to go to crystal, and then go to broadcast Crystal 1, then go back to the center. The next one we want it to go to, and it doesn't really matter, but we need to keep track of them. See how this one is called Crystal 2? Let's go to Crystal 2, broadcast a new message, call this one broadcast a new message, call this one Crystal 2, and then come here. And let's do for this one, go to Crystal 3. We need to broadcast a new message, Crystal 3. And I'm going to move that out of the way here. Hold on a second. Okay, so we have, I scroll down a little bit. So we have go to Crystal 2, broadcast Crystal 2. Go to Crystal 3, broadcast Crystal 3. Go to Crystal 4. new message, because we need to broadcast crystal 4, and then go to crystal 5, and then broadcast a new message, crystal 5. Oh, I just messed that up. That'll work. Typos don't matter as long as we're consistent on this one. Okay, and now we just need to change the code on each of these sprites down here. So right now they all say when I receive crystal 1, crystal 1, crystal 1, crystal 1. So we want this one to say when I receive crystal 2. On this one, we want it to say when I receive crystal 3. On this one, when I receive crystal 4. And on this one, the horrible spelled crystal 5. Okay, let's think about this now before we hit the green flag. It's going to start in the middle of the screen, go in front of all the other sprites. I'm going to say gathering crystals for 1 second. Go to the first one, say that I've arrived at the first one, and then go back to the center. Go to the second one, say that I've arrived at the second one, go back to the center. Go to the third, broadcast third, go to the center. Go to the fourth, broadcast fourth, go to the center. Go to the fifth, broadcast fifth, go back to the center. Each one of these is going to wait until it hears the right broadcast, and then it's going to reveal itself after. It's going to hide, wait till it's almost back in the center, go to the robot, and then show itself. Let's see how this looks. Crystal 1, crystal 2, crystal 3, crystal 4, crystal 5. Now, that's it. Our program is done. You'll notice, though, that the broadcasts don't actually appear on the screen, right? It's not like the robot is saying crystal 1. It's just happening, the sprites are talking to each other. Run it one more time. Gathering crystals. And there we go. The robot safely brings the crystals back to the base camp. Okay, we hope you enjoyed that project. That broadcasting when I receive thing gives, if you understand how well that works, that gives you a lot of flexibility and power when you're working on your own programs, because you can have the sprites talk to each other in all kinds of different ways. Okay, I forgot to give this one a name, so let's call this one Gathering Crystals. And this one is done.